Hello, baseball fans. Well, today we were treated to a double dose of baseball action. That's about the maximum what we'll get. As both NLCSs took center stage. First off, the American League played game number 2 of their series, and of course, Seattle already took game 1 on the road. So Toronto needed to salvage something. They needed to salvage something. They needed to salvage a split. That's the best they could do, and see what they would do in the next 3, which would be in Seattle. So, what was the result of game number 2 in the American League? Ooh boy. Well then, Seattle definitely started quickly. 3-run homer by Julio Rodriguez. Now, Toronto, they did chip. They did chip and managed to tie it, but Seattle took back over, took the wheel, and drove off with it. Another 3-run homer from Jorge Polanco, and then the runs just keep coming in. A 10-3 victory for Seattle. They completely took home field from Toronto that series. The Mariners go up 2-0. They took both games in Toronto, and even crazier, they did this on Canadian Thanksgiving. Of course, that's what. But yeah, it was Canadian. It was Thanksgiving in Canada. Of course, in Canada, Thanksgiving always falls on the second Monday of October, and of course, like us Yanks do every November, they have turkey. So, it was not a good Canadian Thanksgiving for Toronto sports because not only did the Blue Jays lose at home, but the Toronto Maple Leafs lost also at home. So Seattle, they're definitely in the driver's seat right now. Up 2-0, heading home for the ALCS. Now, of course, it's a 2-3-2 format, which means at most, I have to say at most here, at most, the next 3 games will take place in Seattle before the final 2, if we get final 2, take place back in Toronto. Of course, like I said, I have to say at most because Seattle has a 2-0 lead. So all they have to do is win the next 2 at home, and that'll do it. So yeah, the Mariners are 2 wins away from their first ever pennant. As I said, we got a double dose as the NLCS started also today. So, what was the result of game 1 in the senior circuit? This was good. This was a good low-scoring game. This was a good one. Of course, we saw some craziness in that 4th inning. So, here's what happened. Fly ball was hit. Fly ball was hit by Max Muncy. Bases were loaded. There were 2 outs, I believe. And the ball went off the wall. It looked like it was caught, but the throw was made home, out there, and another out. It was crazy. So they got out of the inning because I remember when I saw him hit it, I went, "Oh jeez, is this a grand slam? Did you get a grand slam?" What looked like what could have been a grand slam turned to absolutely nothing. The game continued scoreless. Then Freddie Freeman hit his solo shot, made it 1-0. In the 9th inning, Mookie was walking the bases loaded, so I ended up making it 2-0. A sac fly to bottom of the 9th made it 2-1, but they couldn't get anything else, even though the bases were full of Brewers. So the Dodgers take game 1. The road team's been winning the LCS so far. But yeah, the Dodgers take game 1. They're 1-up in the NLCS, and it's going to be amazing. So, yeah. Oh. One more tidbit about the game. Of course, this was the performance from Blake Snell. 8 innings pitched, only 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. The first pitcher in baseball history, in baseball postseason history, to ever go 8 innings, give up 1 hit or less, and strike out 10 in a postseason game. But Blake Snell did it. Just an amazing moments from them. It was crazy. So that's my recap of tonight's action. And tomorrow we'll get game 2 in the National League between the Dodgers and the Brewers. And of course, the Dodgers are 1 up. Dodgers look to go 2 up, heading back to LA, or the Brewers could even things up and make this interesting. And of course, that's on TBS. So that is my recap of tonight's action. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe. If you want more, if you're on TikTok and Instagram, feel free to hit that follow button. And I'll be back this time tomorrow to recap Game 2 in the National League. So stay tuned.